long weekend weather watch continues. You know, here at the Weather Network, we usually have a rotating cast of characters. And Marta, this is your first shift live here on the Weather Network. Can you please introduce yourself?
I'm Marta Czurylowicz.
See, that's why I didn't. That's why I didn't do her intro. Marta has an extensive TV background. We're so happy to have her, and you're pretty happy to talk about weather too. What's your favorite, sunny day or thunderstorm?
Mine is sunny day for sure.
Sunny day? Okay,
Yeah.
well, we got a mix of it today, Marta. We had both sunny day, but we also have thunderstorm risk.
Right, and there's a chance for some pop-up storms along this border here, and this is along the St. Lawrence, but that's what we said, a chance. Not necessarily everyone's going to see it, but a chance for a pop-up here and there.
You're 100% right on that, because you know what, that cold front kind of moisture start, we have high pressure descending, and where you're seeing the green, not necessarily rainfall, but just moisture in the atmosphere. And we're also dealing with some energy.
And that's going to be moving throughout the weekend. So you can see it's pretty hot, close to seasonal in Toronto. 26 is the seasonal temperature for this year. So we're right around that mark, but it's a pretty beautiful day across Ontario.
And okay, this is amazing. Check out these cottage conditions. Don't you wish you were there right now?
Yeah, wish we could be on Georgian Bay with these people out in Haliburton and Beaverton, 24 degrees. Beautiful.
Not too bad, and Marta as well. By the time they reach Monday, it's going to be heating up even more. Ice cream or popsicle?
Ice cream.
Ice cream? Okay, yeah, you know what? We're going to get along. This is all good. Okay, so we were talking a little bit earlier, this cold front as well, extending all the way out into New Brunswick.
And you can see this low is moving through and pushing with it some potential storms. So we had that activity, and it's still kind of occurring around this area here in New Brunswick, but it's going to be moving on through.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to continue to track towards the east. Southern parts of Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, that's going to be your story on Sunday. But Saturday, just like Marta said, it's going to be more of that New Brunswick story as well as Prince Edward Island. And we are also dealing with some energy with this one, but non-severe in nature. But Marta, I want you to touch on the temperatures, okay? We're doing pretty good out in the Atlantic.
Yeah, and it's pretty humid down here. For Halifax, 30 degrees. I mean, that's a little bit above seasonal. Their seasonal temperatures are around 25, so it feels a little bit hotter than it actually is, but you can't complain.
I mean, if you're a Maritimer, you might be complaining. Nathan Coleman was saying it's pretty hot out here. Okay, we've been dealing as well with active weather out in the prairies.
Yeah, and as you can see, the front here, it's bringing with it some potential for those pop-up storms. The Interlake, really an area in southern Manitoba that could see some of those storms passing through.
You're completely right about that. We have the strongest amount of energy in northern parts of Manitoba, so that's where you could get into the hail. I know you were here with Kim McDonald last night, just covering those. Baseball-sized hail in some of those scenarios. But the temperatures as well still remaining quite steamy too.
Yeah, it's pretty hot in the southern parts of BC and Alberta, but definitely looking really beautiful.
Well, we're happy to have you. Your local forecast starts right now.
Have a listen to this hail hammering down on someone's deck in Tidehead, New Brunswick. Definitely coming down hard, not as large as we've seen elsewhere, but definitely can do some damage. I'm Marta Czurylowicz for the Weather Network. Let's take a look at the precipitation forecast in through the weekend for the Atlantic. So today on Saturday, it was sort of mainly focused in New Brunswick, but moving in through Sunday afternoon, it will definitely focus on Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. And a risk shows the areas here where there's potential for some heavy rainfall. Now, we don't know exactly that you'll all see heavy rainfall, but definitely possibilities in through the areas in yellow. And it's definitely still going to be hot in the Maritimes. Halifax 24, feeling like 30, but if you look at Monday, relief is on the way. 25, feeling like 25, definitely closer to seasonal. And we're looking at the risk now into northwestern Ontario. That's going to be the story in through tomorrow, Sunday. You can see this line of storms forming here around this area. Again, the risk is here in orange. You can see this is an area that could definitely see some heavy rainfall, strong wind gusts, and large hail. And the yellow areas could see some potential thunderstorms, non-severe in nature as well. Let's take a look at Fort McMurray, though. You can see driving along some rain, but wait for it. That was lightning beside someone's vehicle. A little bit too close for comfort, if you ask me. And this hail in Spruce Grove near Edmonton, this one coming out of Edmonton, looks pretty big, and these ones are enormous. close to tennis ball size, and we have a map that actually shows you where the biggest hail was seen. Grapefruit sized in Spruce Grove, baseball sized in Stony Plain, and then golf ball to baseball sized in Edmonton. So that definitely did some damage. We definitely saw pictures of smashed windows, siding that was damaged because of those heavy big hail pieces. But the future radar actually shows that these storms are moving into northwestern Ontario, like we said, and just right on Sunday afternoon you'll see some pop-up showers in Saskatchewan and Manitoba. Let's move on to the west. You have none of this. It's sunny skies for you, and the precipitation forecast, well, you won't see any rain until later in the week, or a little bit earlier rather, into Tuesday. And we can definitely see some of these beautiful temperatures in the lower mainland. 27 in Vancouver, 26 in Nanaimo. Let's take a quick look at the northern part of BC. It's beautiful for you as well. Share your weather pictures with us. That is a cougar approaching someone's back door near Tofino in BC. Definitely not someone that you'd want to visit. Pretty cool, but a little bit too close for comfort, that's for sure. I'm Marta Czurylowicz. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network. So that was pretty much the main story. I mean, it was sunny skies, no rain, and you can definitely see that in this precipitation forecast. Sunday and through overnight, looking clear. Monday, clear. It's not until Tuesday that you might see some pop-up storms in through the interior of BC, but it's definitely not going to be anything to be worried about. Some scattered non-severe showers. But let's look at where the story is today and moving in through the weekend. It started off in Alberta. We saw some huge hail, some golf ball size, even grapefruit size, baseball size hail. But you can see that front moving across, and it went through Saskatchewan into Manitoba, and it sort of parked over northwestern Ontario, and that's where the energy is moving in through the weekend. You can see this line of storms here in green. And with that line of storms, you can see a risk map. This will show where heavy rainfall is possible, where there's strong wind gusts, and that potential for large hail. Now, the areas in yellow, those can see some severe thunderstorms, but we can't really say where, just popping up around Winnipeg in that area there, but it's really areas in Lake of the Woods, Kenora, Atikokan that are in that severe possibility for thunderstorms. Moisture in the atmosphere is traveling through. You can see a high pressure area moving over southwestern Ontario, bringing with it beautiful temperatures, sunny skies, and then cottage country looking beautiful for the weekend. But we do have the Rogers Cup going on, and I mean, people say inclement weather is rain, but how does the sun affect the tournament? Let's take a look at the Rogers Cup. I'm Marta Czurylowicz. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network. Now, let's take a look at the weather events happening. Some severe weather potential happening in Manitoba, Saskatchewan-Manitoba border, severe weather risk, and it's going to shift in through the east. You can see this red right here. That's a cluster of storms that could potentially bring with it some hail, like we saw in Alberta on Friday. Grapefruit-sized hail in Spruce Grove. Now that's pretty large. Baseball-sized in Stony Plain, and in Edmonton, golf ball to baseball-sized hail. That's pretty large. And this front continues to move on over. And in Atlantic Canada, we can definitely see some instability. And that's where actually we're going to be headed to this next story, where a couple that was canoeing, and they've been canoeing for 40 years together, was actually attacked by a bear. Let's head online to our top story now. Look at this hail. Grapefruit-sized hail that definitely caused some damage. We received all your photos and we went to Twitter, and look at this image here. That's a tennis ball, and those are the hailstones that fell. And this happened in Edmonton around the dinner hour. For more images of the damage, head to our website at theweathernetwork.com.